Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 5 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that will leave you speechless. Story 1. My husband used kid scissors to cut raw chicken and then vanished. So I left my husband alone with one simple job, and I came back to a crime scene. Okay, let me back up. I'm 40, mom of 6 kids, ages 2 to 20, and I was getting dinner going when I realized we were out of tortillas. So I asked my husband, who's 37 by the way, a full-grown man, if he could just pop the chicken in the oven while I ran to the store real quick. We cook together all the time, he knows where everything is, he knows how an oven works, I promise you he does. I was gone maybe 15 minutes. I come back home and the baby gate to the kitchen is wide open, no husband in sight, and on the counter is the chicken package, ripped open, and get this, cut open with a pair of children's safety scissors. Like the little blunt ones our toddler uses for arts and crafts. Raw chicken juice everywhere. No oven on. No husband. I found him in the living room watching TV like nothing happened. I asked him what on earth he did in there and he just shrugged and said he couldn't find the kitchen scissors so he used what was around. I said okay, but where's the chicken now, is it in the oven, and he says, and I quote, he got distracted. So now I'm standing in a kitchen that smells like raw chicken, with scissors that are 2-year-old uses covered in raw meat bacteria, and a husband who just wandered off. I lost it. I mean, I really laid into him. Told him he needs to actually think before he does things, told him this is exactly why I can't leave him alone with anything for more than 5 minutes, and I did not hold back on the tone. My tone apparently was, quote, like I was scolding a child. He got defensive, said I embarrassed him, said he's not one of our kids and I don't need to talk to him like he's in trouble. But here's the thing, he acted exactly like one of our kids. If one of my actual children left raw chicken out and wandered off distracted, I'd correct them the same way. I'm exhausted, I run this house, I run 6 kids, and now I have to also supervise a grown man's chicken handling. He's telling everyone I overreacted and disrespected him in front of the kids. Maybe my tone was harsh, I'll admit that part. But am I really the bad guy here for being frustrated that I have to double-check literally everything, down to whether raw meat makes it into an oven? So tell me, was I out of line, or did he earn every bit of that reaction? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I realized I was only invited to the party to be the free photographer. So I found out the hard way that I wasn't a guest at this party, I was the hired help, except nobody paid me and nobody told me. I do photography on the side, nothing crazy, family shoots, small events, that kind of thing. My friend invited me and my girlfriend to his 30th birthday at this rented venue, and he made it sound like a big deal, told us to dress nice because it was going to be a proper party. So we did. We got him an expensive gift, we booked a hotel nearby so we wouldn't have to drive home late, we really went all in for this thing. A few days before the party he texts me, hey, can you bring your camera and take a few nice pics if you feel like it? And I said sure, no problem, figured I'd snap some candid shots here and there, maybe a couple of posed group photos, the usual favor you do for a friend. That is not what happened. The second we walked in, before I even had a drink in my hand, he's pulling me aside telling me where to stand for the entrance shots. Then it's get a photo of this table, get a photo of him and his fiance, get a photo of every single guest as they walk in, get a shot of the cake being cut, get this, get that. I'm not exaggerating when I say I did not sit down for over 2 hours. My girlfriend was sitting alone at a table the entire time while I'm basically working a full event photography job in a blazer I paid good money for. At one point I tried to put the camera down to actually eat something, and he came over and asked if I got photos of some specific corner of the room with certain decorations. That's when it hit me. I wasn't invited as a friend who happened to bring a camera. I was invited because I'm a photographer who happens to be a friend, and he wanted free professional photos for his big 30th without paying for an actual photographer. So I did something I probably should have done 2 hours earlier. I put the camera in its bag, zipped it up, sat down next to my girlfriend, ordered a drink, and just enjoyed the rest of the party as an actual guest. He noticed pretty quickly and came over asking why I stopped, and I just told him honestly, I came here to celebrate with you, not to work, and if he wanted a full event photographed he should have hired someone and paid them. He got visibly annoyed, said I was making it awkward, said he thought I didn't mind since I offered. I reminded him I offered to take a few nice pics, not shoot his entire event solo for free while my girlfriend sat by herself the whole night. He's now telling mutual friends I ruined the vibe by refusing to keep shooting, and a couple people have said I should have just finished the night out since I already started. But I paid for a hotel, bought a gift, dressed up, and expected to actually be a guest, not unpaid labor. So was I wrong to put the camera down, or did he use our friendship to get a free photographer? Story 3. My freeloading friend turned 2 days into 2 months in my house. So I let my friend crash at my place for a few days, and 2 months later I basically had a hostile roommate I never agreed to. I'm 40 years old, and a couple months back my friend of many years, she's 39, was going through a really hard time. She lost her job, things were rough, and I felt for her, so I told her, hey, come stay with me for a couple days to a week, relax, job hunt, don't worry about your own bills for a bit. Seemed like a nice thing to do for a friend. That week turned into 2 months, and somewhere along the way it stopped feeling like helping a friend and started feeling like I was hosting a nightmare tenant who pays zero rent. She never got a job. Honestly, I don't even think she seriously looked. Instead, she's been sleeping until early afternoon, using my kitchen like it's a restaurant, leaving dishes everywhere, not contributing a single cent to groceries even though she's clearly eating my food every single day. I started noticing my patience running thinner and thinner, but I kept telling myself she's going through a hard time, be patient, this is temporary. Except it stopped being temporary weeks ago. The final straw was honestly embarrassing. I came home from work and she had people over, people I've never met in my life, in my living room, without asking me, without even a heads-up text. I work full-time, I come home wanting peace in my own house, and instead I walked into a random gathering of strangers in my space. That's when I sat her down and told her, as kindly as I could, that it was time for her to find her own place. She did not take it well. She cried, called me heartless, said she thought I was actually her friend and that friends don't kick each other out when they're struggling. She brought up how long we've known each other, like that erases the fact that she's contributed nothing and taken over my home for 2 months. She's now telling our mutual friends that I turned my back on her during the worst time of her life, and a couple of them have hit me up saying I could have given her a little more time since she doesn't have family to fall back on. But I have my own life, my own bills, my own space that I worked hard for, and I gave her way more grace than 2 days turned into 2 months should have ever allowed. I'm not her landlord, I'm not her personal safety net indefinitely, I was just trying to help a friend through a rough patch, not adopt a permanent unpaying roommate who throws parties I didn't agree to. So tell me honestly, was I wrong to finally tell her she has to go, or did I actually let this go on way longer than I should have? Story 4. My dad tricked me into meeting his secret second family. So 10 years ago my dad tricked me and my brother into a family reunion, except the family we were reuniting with wasn't ours, or so we thought. Let me give you the backstory. My parents divorced when I was really young. When I was about 5, my dad moved back to his home country and basically left my mom, my brother, and me behind. He sent minimal child support and we saw him maybe once every few years whenever he happened to swing back into town for business. So he wasn't exactly father of the year to begin with. Then when I was 16, he calls us up all excited, tells my brother and me that he's moving back to our country permanently. He's thrilled, he buys us plane tickets to come visit him before the move, tells us it's going to be a big trip, we're finally going to spend real quality time together, father and sons, making up for lost years. We were actually excited. Genuinely. Despite everything, we wanted to believe this was him finally trying. We land, and instead of it being just the 3 of us like we assumed, he takes us to this house full of people we've never seen in our lives. Turns out, and he drops this on us basically in the driveway, he had a whole other family this entire time. A wife. Kids. Our actual half-siblings. People who had apparently known about us for years while we knew absolutely nothing about them. He'd been living this completely separate life, and instead of ever telling us the truth like adults, he ambushed us with it disguised as some heartwarming reunion trip. We were 16 and 18 at the time, and we just smiled and got through it because what else do you do when you're a teenager in a stranger's house on another continent? But it sat with us for years. Fast forward to less than a year ago, it finally came up again at a family gathering, and I just blew up at him. I told him exactly how messed up it was to spring that on us with zero warning, to let us find out about an entire secret family by literally walking into their house, instead of just being honest with his own sons beforehand so we could process it privately instead of performing shock in front of strangers. He got defensive, said he didn't know how else to do it, said he was scared we wouldn't come at all if he told us ahead of time, and accused me of ruining what was supposed to be a happy family moment by bringing up ancient history and yelling at him in front of everyone. Some relatives are saying I should let it go since it happened a decade ago and he's tried to build a relationship with us since. But I don't think time erases how badly he handled it. He had years to tell us the truth like a decent parent and instead he ambushed two teenage boys with the biggest reveal of their lives with no warning at all. So was I wrong to finally blow up at him about this, even after all these years, or was that reaction long overdue? Story 5. I gave my blessing to my sister's fiance and now my wife won't speak to me. So my wife is furious with me for giving my own sister's boyfriend my blessing to propose, and honestly the reason why is a lot messier than it sounds. I need an outside opinion because right now I'm getting the silent treatment at home and I genuinely don't know if I deserve it. My sister Rebecca is 27, and she's been dating this guy Andy, also 27, for about 9 months now. I like Andy. I think he's a genuinely good guy and I think he and my sister make a lot of sense together. Here's where it gets complicated though. Before Andy dated my sister, he was in a 4-year relationship with my wife's best friend Patricia. For years, engaged practically in everyone's minds, and then it ended, and not long after, he ends up with my sister. My wife has been Patricia's best friend since childhood, so in her eyes, Andy dating and now potentially marrying my sister feels like a betrayal, like Andy just hopped from one important woman in the friend group to another, and now my wife feels like she has to sit across the table from the guy who broke her best friend's heart at every single family holiday for the rest of her life. So when Andy came to me, privately, respectfully, and asked if he could have my blessing to propose to my sister, I said yes. Because here's my thinking. My sister is a grown woman. She loves him. He treats her well from everything I've seen. And honestly, it's not really my place, or my wife's place, to block a relationship because of history that happened between him and someone else entirely, someone who isn't even part of our immediate family. My wife found out I gave my blessing and she absolutely lost it. She feels like I sided against her and against Patricia, like I basically told her that her best friend's pain doesn't matter compared to keeping the peace with my sister. She thinks I should have at least talked to her first before giving Andy an answer, or better yet, told Andy I couldn't in good conscience support it given what happened with Patricia. She's saying I've put her in an impossible position, that now she has to either fake being happy for my sister or become the villain who can't support her own husband's family. I get why she's upset, I really do. Patricia went through something painful and my wife watched her best friend suffer through that breakup. But at the same time, Andy didn't do anything to Patricia that makes him unfit to be with my sister. Relationships end, people move on, and my sister isn't responsible for fixing or avoiding whatever happened in Andy's past relationship. It's been a rough few days at home, lots of silence, lots of tension, and I don't know how to fix it without either betraying my sister's happiness or betraying my wife's loyalty to her friend. So tell me, was I wrong to give my blessing, or is my wife holding on to a grudge that isn't really mine to inherit? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.